Hey, what's up guys? Thanks so much for coming back to the channel and checking out another episode. Today, I'm going to be showing you a couple new vehicles that we have acquired. Let's get into it. This is my absolute beautiful 2010 Suzuki GSX-R 600 in this perfect tri-coat blue that has a bunch of pearl in it. It is an awesome color. I love it. It's got really nice dark satin accents all over the bike. There's a lot of stuff that we're actually going to be planning on doing to this bike. I'm going to be filming a two-part series. What we're going to be doing is maintenance. We're going to do a bunch of maintenance on it, spark plugs, air filter, oil filter, etc. So I'm going to be filming a video on that. And then also the other video is we're going to be modifying it. So I'll be able to show you guys what we're going to be doing on that and how we're going to do it. But just a brief overview. The exhaust muffler. This bike was loaded with stickers, so I took them all off, and you can see one of them was on the exhaust. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually sand that down and re-clear coat it. Obviously, we're going to take it off the bike, clean up with ultrafine steel wool, clean the exhaust pipe itself up and everything. I got a brand new clamp for the bike, and then also the lower factory can. What we're going to do with that is we're just going to clean it all up, spray a nice flat matte black on it. High heat, of course, because that is the catalytic converter. Another one is I'm just trying to find an LED license plate light. I ordered a couple. They're actually unfortunately too long for the reflector housing, so I need to find a couple shorter ones, but that's no big deal. One of the bigger ones for me personally is I really don't like this iridescent rainbowy windshield. I ordered a double bubble black one, so we're gonna get that put on. I already managed to put on the handles. I just couldn't wait, and I got the nice color matched billet handles there. I think it looks absolutely sharp with that. And then one of the other bigger things that we're going to do to this bike is I got an LED rock light pod kit for the bike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one underneath the tail section, and then I'm going to probably put one just here on each side, and then also one underneath the actual front nose fairing there. And it's going to be a full RGB effect and everything, and it'll be really cool. Especially with my helmet, how I have the LEDs on my helmet. That will look sweet. I was also told that there was LED shoes on Amazon, so I might actually take a look at that too. But, you know, the whole idea is to be seen at night. Not to be like a Yahoo or anything, but honestly, like, there's been so many close calls at night. It's just, people are just not paying attention. So I feel with all this extra safety equipment, and especially my high-vis reflective jacket over here, as you can see, the whole thing is just absolutely glowing. The entire jacket is reflective, and you literally glow like a ghost at night. So with this added safety gear, I think that A, it'll look absolutely wicked, and B, more visible, which is the whole idea. I personally don't really like the exhaust. I personally would rather have the R56 Yoshimura exhaust on it, but that's a lot of money, and this exhaust I can clean up and actually make it a lot better, and I'm sure it'll just be fine for now. So this is the rock light kit that we got here. Just instructions for the app and all that stuff. But like I said, the center one here is the actual, I was already playing with it. The center one here is the rock light. So it's not too big. No, it's roughly about 3 inches tall by 1.5, 2 inches. So, yeah, that will fit perfectly. It's got all the RGB chips in it and all that. I can actually turn it to pure white if I want. Multiple color variations, the whole 9 yards. So I got 4 of those LED pods. So these are all the rest of the LED pods. And then this is the actual controller. So it's all internal relayed, all internal, like, everything. So which is amazing. So here's just the split for all the connectors to go onto. Here's the power wires. So like I said, because this one is specifically all internal relayed, I don't actually have to do an inline relay or anything off the battery. It's all done within the controller. So that's honestly pretty brilliant on how they designed it. And of course, we got some brand new Iridium NGK plugs for the bike. Even though it's lower kilometers on the bike, I just want to make sure that those are 100% and taken care of for the next riding season. Next up on the list, like I said, got a nice oil filter. Here is one of the old LED lights that just burnt out. It's just old. So I got to find a similar length bulb than that. Brand new stainless exhaust clamp. Lucas oil. I ended up getting 1040 synthetic, formulated for wet clutches. Made sure it was that, just that way there's no issues. And here is the black double bubble windscreen. So that is going to go on also. Cool thing already for me is that it's already got a full set of LEDs for the headlights, high and low, which is perfect. The taillight itself is already factory LED. Turn signals are just incandescent, but I'm not going to mess around with the turn signals just because then I will have to replace the relay and get a potentiometer on it just to make sure that I can actually slow down the pulse wave. So I'd rather just leave those alone. And honestly, those are just perfectly fine as is. But this bike is absolutely beautiful. I'm in absolute love with it. Like I said, it's a 2010 GSX-R and it only has 8,500 kilometers on the odometer. So it's essentially a new bike. I was very fortunate to find the bike for the price point that I did find it at. And I ended up picking up these racing stands too, just for the winter storage, get it up off the ground and not flat spot the tires. Because this bike, as you can tell, hasn't been ridden much. It's nice to have the option to save the tires from flat spotting and get it all ready for next season. And outside, super frosty morning. This is the 2002 Acura RSX that I managed to pick up just as a commuter for winter daily. And now that winter's coming to an end, it's gonna be nice to actually insure the bike and start riding that. But the car itself isn't in terrible shape. It is a rebuilt title, a little bit of damage on the left front corner there and also on the quarter. But honestly, it's not a big deal to me. The car runs and drives absolutely perfect. It has 280,000 kilometers on it. But you know what? Honestly, it does its job. New tires, new brakes all around. So this is, it was a great purchase. Another car that I forgot to mention to you guys, it's going to be a new project on the channel. I always wanted to work on one of these. My wife especially has always wanted to own one. Never really thought I would bother, to be honest with you, especially for the money. But this one I just happened to acquire, so let's show it to you now. This is a 2003 Mini Cooper. It's got a 5-speed manual transmission in it, and it's not the S model, so it's not the supercharger or turbo or anything. But this car I ended up acquiring, and it's got one flaw in it at the moment. It's requiring a replacement transmission, allegedly. So the car itself, when I got it delivered to my house, it drove the 20 feet forward and reverse perfectly fine. So from what my understanding, second gear is it's starting to grind and starting to do some weird things to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it inside the garage and take it all apart, inspect everything. I actually found a rebuild kit for the transmission, full bearing and seal kit. So what I'm going to be probably doing is just trying to overhaul the transmission. But I wanted to get in the garage, up on the quick jacks there, and I want to inspect everything. What I want to do first, though, is obviously inspect everything, and I want to make sure that the transmission itself is not destroyed. Because if it's the matter of just buying a bearing and seal kit, then I'll do that instead. It's definitely rough around the edges. It's got a couple things, like obviously, as you can see, missing gas cap door, cracked taillight. Also, the third brake light high mount. The red lens itself is actually missing, so I got to get that replaced too. But my wife, she wants me to sell the Acura. She actually wants me to drive this thing. I personally like it, but we got to see what's going on with the transmission first. Used transmission, the cheapest so far that I can find is $1,700 Canadian dollars. And that's a lot of money, especially just for a transmission for an old vehicle. Like, I get it, like, it's a BMW product and stuff, but like, dang, $1,700. That's honestly ridiculous. I can go buy another one for that price and use the parts. Couple of quick things that I did realize is that it's got factory HIDs. Those are the marker lights there in the middle. Down below is supposed to be where fog lights are, but that's okay. Everything is just so frozen shut, I can't even open the door. I've already tried, so I'm not going to show you the interior. That's pretty much just the brief garage update there for you guys. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to be coming out with a 2-part series on the GSXR, doing a maintenance segment, and then also doing a modify your bike segment too. So yeah, it'll be fun. The Hyosung, it was a great project. It was lots of fun. I did learn a lot. However, being, you know, like more of a knockoff, a clone essentially. It wasn't a Chinese knockoff or a clone. It was actually a Korean clone. Those brand bikes, though, they are extremely popular in other parts of the world. From my knowledge, in Canada, it's more of a niche product. But in other parts of the world, obviously Asia, Europe, there's a lot of those bikes out there. So, but yeah. It was a great project. It's just unfortunately an electrical short happened and it fried the ECU, fried the wiring harness. Now we're on to bigger and better things. So GSXR is going to be happening. I'm extremely excited to be riding that bike through the spring all the way through the summer. It's going to be an absolute dream to ride. Like I said, I've had one of these already before. It was more of just for buy and flip. Now that I actually have one to keep it, I'm extremely pleased that I found another one just like it. Right on, guys. Thanks so much for checking out this quick video. We'll check you in the next one. Have a good one.